Title: Saudi drops a cool $1.2 billion to help Yemen's economy, generosity or strategy? TL: Saudi Arabia's making it rain with a whopping $1.2 billion in economic aid for Yemen. But is this just a helping hand for Yemen's shaky economy, or a strategic move in the bigger Middle East game? Let's dive in. Saudi Arabia seems to be making moves on the humanitarian front, handing Yemen's Presidential Council a sizable $1.2 billion. Why? To give Yemen's staggering economy a little, okay, maybe a lot, of TLC. But isn't there more to the story? Yemen's economy's been through the ringer lately, especially with its weak currency and sky-high prices. But wait, there's more. Ever heard of the Iran-aligned Houthis? They've been relatively quiet in the northern parts of Yemen over the past year. However, the Saudi-supported government in Aden hasn't had the smoothest of times, largely due to those pesky Houthi drone attacks on oil tankers. This resulted in a halt to exporting crude oil from the southern terminals. A major oof, right? So, why is Saudi Arabia dropping this mad cash? Is it out of the goodness of their hearts? Or maybe to ensure that things don't get too heated militarily? According to a Saudi insider, this move aims to bolster security and avoid any resurgence of military clashes. Another angle suggests that this generous donation is a bid to get everyone around the table and discuss a broad political resolution for the Yemeni crisis. A Yemeni official even mentioned that the funds would go to essential things like government wages, fuel for power stations, and importing food. Yummy. Let's rewind a bit, shall we? This whole Yemen war situation is pretty much a tug-of-war between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Remember, Iran's buddies, the Houthis, gave the Saudi-supported government the boot from Sana'a back in 2014. They've held a good chunk of northern Yemen since then. The Houthis' side of the story? They're just trying to stand up against a corrupted system and external hostility. This war's been going on for a while now, and the result? A devastating number of casualties and a staggering 80% of Yemen's population leaning on humanitarian aid. Here's an intriguing tidbit: Saudi and Omani officials were spotted in peace talks with the Houthis back in April. The goal? A permanent ceasefire to put an end to this draining war. But there were a few speed bumps, like how to use the oil revenue and setting a timeline for foreign forces to pack their bags. So, what's the real takeaway here? Saudi's grand gesture might be genuinely altruistic, or it could be a chess move in the vast geopolitical board game. One thing's for sure, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Isn't it interesting how international politics and massive funds intersect? Could Saudi Arabia's $1.2 billion donation bring lasting peace to the region, or is it just a short-term band-aid solution? What do you think? How will this change the dynamics between Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen? Sound off below.